welcome then to this session, which is attracting your dream client. Something that I think all of us would love to know how to do that. I definitely feel like I'm on the right path when it comes to attracting clients, but also just like knowing who it is that you're kind of aiming for, like in terms of setting up your business. So who is it that you want to attract into your business? So first thing is I'm going to just go over some of the kind of really important parts that you need before you start to understand who your dream client is. How can you actually manifest them if you don't know what it is that you're offering, what it is that you're kind of creating, and also having an idea of what that person needs or wants. So we're going to do a little exercise today. I've got this great exercise that I did with one of my mentors, which I want to share with you. And I think that's super, super helpful when it comes to knowing who it is that you're kind of attracting into your business or whatever it is that you're creating. Some of you will be at different stages. Some of you will be at a stage where you're just coming up with your idea. Some of you will already have your idea already out there and kind of maybe running a bit dry, can't really find any clients or not sure where to start. Some people will be probably at a point where they've got something set up, but they don't know how to market it. There's going to be, many of you will be at different stages who are watching this video. So I'm going to hopefully cover all of the sections. So I'll start by sharing my screen. Yeah, here we go. So you should be able to see, I'm hoping you can see this page that I have in front of me. Hold on a minute. Actually, I'm just going to stop sharing for a second and do it again because I've forgotten which one yeah, it is that one. Okay, great. There it is. All right. So let me perfect present. As always, a little presentation always helps to understand it visually. So your dream client. So the first step is really basically what it is that you do, your positioning statement. I mean, we've gone over mission and vision in the past, which I'd like to go deeper on another session actually about this. But positioning statement is pretty much what it is that you do. You know, who is it that you're helping and what is it that you're kind of focusing on? So I've just done an example here. I help individuals, healers and light workers to step into their power using frequency healing. Okay, so that's just like one example. You can also create your own. So it's really important that you kind of maybe even write this one down. Or if you're watching the replay, pause this video now and just brainstorm, get yourself a notepad. Even if you have a book that you can start working on, like I've got like this little book that I bought the other day and I just can jot notes down and you can brainstorm a little bit about what it is that you offer. So it doesn't have to be exactly like this, but not too long. And it's quite clear. So you can also add this on your Instagram page or whatever, you know, so that people know what it is that you offer. It's very important that that is clear. Now, you don't have to start with this. You could do this later, but it's just an idea of understanding before your clients can understand that they kind of need you or that you can help them, is to make sure that you know what it is that you do. Okay, that's the most important to start with. And then secondly, like, what do you offer? Because if you don't know what you offer, then how is it you're going to attract the person that you want? So let's have a look at some of these. So we've got offerings, which is what does your business offer? Okay, so jotting down a couple of things like what does it do? Are you offering a product, a service, an experience? So you list all those down. You can also list all the prices that it costs or the values of what it is that you're offering. And if you're unsure, then just brainstorm as much as possible and then choose a few of them to focus on. Okay, so some examples here that I've written is a one-to-one coaching or mentoring, online program or subscription or membership site, a live online training, live in-person events or workshops. It can be like physical product, books, CDs, DVDs, other. It can also be healing sessions, whatever it is that you offer, pop them down now if you get a second, if you haven't done it already, or you may have them somewhere already, so that you just have a bit of an idea of, like, before we start looking at what the client needs and wants. Okay, so once you've done that, okay, we're gonna now just do a little exercise to describe who is your ideal client, customer, or fan. Okay, it can be any of those three, and describe them with as much specificity. I can't say this word. Be as specific as possible. What are their characteristics? Okay, what age are they? What gender are they? Where are they in the world? What do they like? What don't they like? And what's really important in this is that you are specific. So if you just describe one person, it doesn't mean you're only going to attract that one person. It's just to give you a bit more of an idea of what kind of person it is that you'd like to attract. So, for example, in the Healy Avalon Facebook group, we've got mostly women. As much as I would love to offer this to men, it's mostly women. It's mostly women who are over 40, actually. Like, the majority are between 50 and 60, actually. And it's not like I'm only focusing on those people with the group, but it's just that this has attracted those types of people. And that in itself has already made me realize that that's my client. My client is aged between 45 and 65. And it's something that you need to look at. Now, if you have no idea, just make it up, just start with one. It can be both men and women, but it's just that you need to be very clear with who it is and kind of what age group they are, because age really matters, because we all have different levels of where we're at and what we do. So depending on how much money they're making, what kind of job do they have, what's their lifestyle like, do they like to stay in, do they like to go out, do they like to socialize, do they like just to hang out with their partner, do they have kids, are they stressed out at the moment, or are they really clear? Like, really delve into what it is that they are feeling even today. For example, a really good example is to kind of also think about if you've had clients in the past. So if you haven't, this is going to be more difficult. But if you've actually had a client before, have a think about who they were. Is that the person you'd like to attract into your business to come and to purchase a session from you, or did it not quite fit? And is there something or someone else that you would probably prefer to attract right now? And it really depends on what it is that you're offering and how you can meet their needs. And we're going to do an exercise to help you around that. So if you're watching the replay, or those people that are in the Zoom, you can watch this back later and you can do this exercise. So really you can work on describing who it is that you're offering to. So this is really important because, actually we use this all the time in the coaching module for ourselves. And I've brought this up before in another presentation, to really look into these areas of your client's life. So fun and leisure, career, home environment, their money situation, friends and family, and how their relationships are in their life, their significant other or their love, if they have anybody or not, what's their health like, and what stage are they at in their personal growth. And this is important to know with your client where they are at. Okay, and what is a nice exercise to do is, do this wheel of life. This wheel of life is in the folder, the Google Drive folder. We've done it before. And do a wheel of life for your client, for your dream client avatar. Maybe their health is lower and you want to kind of guide them to improve balance in their life on a health kind of way. whether it's be detoxing or whether it is just getting them out, helping them go out of pain or losing weight. It could be many, many things. Maybe they don't have any energy, or they'd like to feel like they're just more clean with what they eat. It could be many things. And, this is just a really good guide to kind of give yourself some ideas on understanding who your client is and what that person may need or want. So, fill this out for them. So usually, you can colour in the closer to the wheel they are, the lower down it is. So say, for example, you can, at the top, the larger part of the wheel is full up. So they're very feeling good. And the bit in the middle is feeling not so good and unbalanced in their life. So work this out. Do a wheel of life for your client. Get to know who they are. If you want to use a client that you feel that have come into your business in the past, say you'd like to use them as an example, do it. You don't need to name them. You can just do this for yourself as well. It doesn't have to be like out there public. Just do a wheel of life from your perspective, and so you know what kind of person and that it is that you kind of want to bring in. Okay. That's the first exercise. So pause that video if you want to do that now. And now we're going to move on to the next section. So listing problems, all right? So listing any issues or challenges that your client may be facing, okay? So for example, what problem does your audience need solved? Okay, what are their pain points? And what we're going to do is we're going to list them into a table. I will give you some time to do this for whoever is here, just so that you can you can also even ask questions, because this can be quite complex to get hold of at the beginning. And even if you want to ask questions, it's probably good, because then anyone else who's watching it can also get help from that. It's always good to have somebody as an example. So I'm just going to show you this table to start with. This is called the niche positioning table. Okay, now we've got on the first column the dream client core challenges. Okay, so that can be anything that may have come up during the wheel of life. So when you've been thinking about the wheel of life, you may have come up with an example of, family at home is difficult, so it might be feeling stressed at home and looking for, some kind of space, maybe, looking for space on their own, having more time for themselves. And what you're going to do is you're going to put in the challenge of whatever it is that's come up for them. Okay. And then once you've done 3 challenges, it can be 3 different challenges that your client has, you are then going to put in the second column the dream client core desires, what it is that they would like to have more in their life. Okay, so this is from their perspective. So this is not from what you think that they need. This is what they want. So if somebody is having issues with not having enough space at home, all right, they may want to have their own space in the house. Maybe they would love to have their own room, meditation room, for example. That could be one of their core desires, but they don't have a room in the house. So they're searching for another possibility, and then we're going to fill in symptoms. So symptoms are anything that's coming up because of this fact. So maybe the symptoms could be, if they are having issues at home and they don't have any space and the family is very hectic, symptoms could be that their nervous system is a little bit crazy, that they're losing their temper. Maybe they are feeling extremely stressed and just feeling trapped at home. Maybe their health is really getting a lot more, maybe they're getting more symptoms in their health, for example. Maybe they're getting a cold, or their immune system is low, or they're feeling a bit depressed. So it's really important that we do these steps, okay? And the antidote is what you are going to offer that is going to help them, okay? The antidotes can also be something different to what they desire. But at the beginning, you're going to offer what they desire. You're going to help them find out what they want and find, you're going to meet their desires, but you're also going to have an antidote, which is what maybe they don't know that you're going to offer a different thing. But that's the most important thing, is that your antidote is what you're offering in your service. Okay, so I've done an example table. So this might look a little bit scary to start with because it's quite blank. Let me show you an example. Okay, so I've done this ages ago. Mine has now developed since this, but this is my first ever one that I did. So it won't be perfect. So I've got in here that my dream client core challenge is they're not aligned in their career. Okay, so you can be a bit more specific than that. So they're off track. They feel like they're just not going in the right direction. All right, they maybe are, but not quite. You know, they know what they want to do, but they can't quite get there. Okay, so dream client core desires would be to have clarity into their true purpose of life and take action and help others. Okay, that's really what they want to have. They don't want to be feeling like nothing's working for them. Symptoms: exhaustion, close to burnout, short-tempered, with family, feeling out of balance. Okay, and antidotes is always something that that you may offer. All right, so you may have already written down, because we've written down what we offer already earlier on. The antidotes is going to be a bit more easier to do. Okay, so for example, I've written in here, use Healy to find clarity, and bring in a regular self-care routine to bring healing to find their true purpose in life. You can I offer a booking, a one-to-one mentorship to help with the business, with their business, or with their life direction, with or without the Healy. I also offer Healy business scan. So anyone that maybe wants to scan their own business, because that's something that I do offer actually, where you can scan your business idea and kind of bring it forward, or your life purpose. I definitely have evolved since I did this. So I definitely have, it was way before I do all of this. Like this is like beginning of last year. So my life's changed dramatically since I did this. But this just gives you just a little bit of an example of how you can do yours. And this will really help. Like even now when I look at it, I see, oh, wow, actually that really worked. Even though at the beginning you think, I don't quite understand who my dream client is. But actually, just by doing this, you're already putting your intention out there to find the person that it is that they're looking for you somewhere in the cosmos. Some other examples. So challenge, feeling alone in their work at home, their work at home job. Okay. There may be a freelancer or a stay-at-home mum with no one to motivate them. So this happened a lot in the lockdown situation. You know, a lot of people were at home, couldn't quite get motivated, didn't have the usual people around them to kind of get them flowing. Or, you know, a lot of people are still in this point where they just feel like they're on their own. So their desire is to kind of have somebody else, like be part of a community or a group, or find another job that makes them feel worthy, you know, that makes them feel like they're part of something, that they're not just sitting at home on their own, struggling through what they need to struggle with. Okay, so symptoms around this would be feeling worthless, undervaluing themselves, in debt, feeling depressed, unhappy marriage. Okay, and then the antidote I've got here is to be part of the Healy Avalon community, to be able to ask questions and general help from a group of like-minded individuals where we can evolve together. Okay, so that's just another example. That's not quite how it is now, but you know, like at the beginning, that was my initial thought process. And then finally, the last one I've got here is the person has a challenge that they do not have any time or money or energy to take action towards the next step. So a lot of people get a bit blocked when it comes to moving forward in their life. And, you know, usually it's like, oh, I don't have any time, or I don't have any money, or I'm too tired, or whatever it might be. So often, you know, they're the types of clients that you can attract, that I wanted to attract at that time. And, you know, because I feel like I could help them somehow to get them motivated, right? So what's their desires? You know, you have to think about what it is that they maybe want. If they felt on their own, what it is that they could kind of want for themselves. So I've put here, wants a job where they can feel free, money flows in, and they're able to do what they love with the possibility to travel and help people. Okay, so that's maybe what they want, but they just don't, they feel like they can't, they're stuck in another thing, which they just can't get out of. So symptoms there, feeling depleted in life, feels that life controls them and they have no choice. Okay. You can add in a lot more than this. Okay. And then an antidote would be an offer or treatment that you offer. Okay. So I've put here, offer Healy scan or treatments to start the first steps, motivating them to create a bigger change in their lives, to let go of something old, bring something new in, looking at ways to improve time and energy management, use Healy regularly to bring back optimum health, to gain the confidence to make big life changes, and to move out of fear and into bliss. So perhaps now, if I was going to bring that into my kind of where I am now, I would probably offer them a coaching session, because I do a lot of coaching, and I do a lot of organizational and looking at life management and seeing what is working and what isn't working, you know, and actually offering someone a possibility where they can see light at the end of the tunnel, where they actually can make steps. I would also offer, you know, opportunity to make small steps rather than large steps, because sometimes small steps are a bit easier to do rather than the bigger picture. So, you know, you can really think about those questions and how that can attract your dream client. And that would definitely will give you a huge understanding of what it is that they want and what it is that they need, and, you know, how you can really, really help them. Now, you don't have to just do 3. You can do a lot more than 3. The more you do, the more clear you're going to be with you know, with what it is that they need. Is there any questions at all from anyone here in the Zoom? Does that all make sense? I'm hoping it does.
That makes sense, Abbey.
Okay,
yeah,
great.
No questions, thank you.
All right, brilliant. So what's really useful about when you create this table is that on the right-hand column where you're starting to write down what you offer and how you can help them, this can be used later. So that can be used to go on your website, for example, you know. So for example, I've written this down myself somewhere. Do you feel out of balance, for example, you know, or you can write, do you want to be part of a community? That's a great question to put on your website or in your Instagram or whatever it is that you use to market yourself. You can also say, you know, do you have unresolved karma? You know, are you searching for direction and purpose in your life? All these questions are questions that will draw in your client, because you're going to feel like, you know, they're going to feel like you know them, because you do. You know what kind of issues that they're having in their life, and you know what antidote you can give them. All right. So you can say things like, do you want to bring something new into your life? Do you want to shed old patterns? Would you like to gain the confidence to make big life changes? You know, so this is useful for so many layers, and it's definitely important to do this step. The more you can do, the better. Excellent. All right. And then moving on. Okay. So what I really love to do, especially when it comes to manifesting, is being visual. So I've got here, find images and words. Like, do a small vision board for your client. Like, look through this can be really fun as well. So look through magazines, go online, have a look at maybe people in your life that you think that you could possibly attract, like maybe even friends or family that, you know, maybe wouldn't become a client, but some people that may fit your clientele if, you know, if they wanted to kind of come to you as a client. And also just get pictures, print them out, put them, you know, get them out of a magazine, stick them in, use colors, words, you know, anything it is that you feel like could kind of really give a bigger vision of who it is that you want to attract. Okay. And it can also be things like, you know, what kind of perfume do they use? Do they use a perfume? Do they use essential oils? Do they like a massage? Do they not like a massage? Do they, are they an open type of person, or are they a closed type of person? You know, are you there to kind of help them open up? Or are they already open and they're struggling to really, they're too flowy and they're struggling to find this, like, let's say, anchoring or groundedness to kind of pull them down and to go, okay, this is where you need to be right now. You know, maybe they're trying too many things. Maybe they're too open. Maybe they would like to just cut back on everything they're doing and have more boundaries. Like really delving into that on a stronger level, on a deeper level, because that is the way to find the right people and to come into your business. Okay. And finally, this is the last slide before we kind of open up to questions and answers, is put it into the Healy. Like, you've seen how I've been adding intentions into the Healy. All right. Once you've done your vision board and you've done pictures, you've taken pictures of your dream client, you've got words that may describe them, take pictures of them with your phone, put them into the coaching module or the aura scan, whichever one you prefer to do, whichever one you've got, and write in the description of your dream client. And, you know, it can even have a name. It can have, like, you know, the age range. You can add in, for example, what challenges they may be having, what it is that you want to offer them. And it is, like, so powerful. It's unbelievably powerful, especially the more specific you are. Okay. And then send the frequencies. Send the frequencies on a daily basis if you want, or on a weekly basis or monthly basis. And your dream client may change as you go along. So then you can delete bits and add bits and use it as a work in progress. Okay. And that really helps as well in drawing in the right people and, you know, using the tools that we have. That is powerful. So that is the end of the presentation. So what I'd like to do actually is, I'm just going to stop sharing because we've got half an hour left. Is, I don't know, Cheryl or Mary, I don't know if you wanted to share a little bit about, like, what you're offering to your clients, and if you wanted to talk through maybe some ideas of challenges, because actually it works better if you have someone to talk to about it, if you know what I mean. You don't obviously have to.
Well, I was thinking everything that you were saying there was, you nearly put everything with it. You had great words in describing. So I was picking out my clients are probably 35 plus, though, all women. And I suppose because they're all at different stages, nearly everything you said would nearly apply, because a 35-year-old woman, the people I have are young, that's young 35 to 40, they have young children, they're busy. So self-care is huge. So the theme gone through them all, and then I'd have people who are older, and then even people who are in their 60s at the other end. But the theme through them all is self-care, really. Priority is for them. Some people have physical issues now. Well, because of COVID, there's a lot of, you know, health issues. But I think women in general have stepped more into their power. They're learning more about who they are. So I think the theme really for me is the self-care all the time.
Brilliant. So I'm just going to share my screen. And I think what would be good is actually just doing a little example together. Let me go to this one. Okay. So what would you say one of the core challenges that, you know, one of your clients may have? Like, I know you've said self-care, but, like, can you be specific?
The core challenge would be, well, I'll pick one. So sort of saying having the second child, being very stressed after having the child and trying to, you know, be the best mum and have the time to give both. So it's trying to build themselves up physically and mentally and emotionally after having two children, you know. So that's
specifically after two children.
Yeah.
Usually that's very specific, and I like that. That's good. So stressed out mum after having second child. So, you know, like maybe symptoms then we put there, which was
the symptoms would be, I suppose, physical. The body is in bad moment after that. So hormonal imbalance. It's a physically hormonal imbalance.
Yeah.
Tiredness, stress.
Great. What is it that they want?
The desire is, I suppose, to it's not to come back to who they were. Find balance in. It's like finding who the new you is now, because you're not the same person as you were before. So you have to find that core person again. You know, you have to come back to who you are now, as you're a mum now too. So it's finding the balance in life, you know.
Great. I like doing this in the now, because it helps you think a little bit about your dream client. So finding out who the new them is now, finding balance in life, you know, so almost probably like somehow yeah. Okay, so finding
support as well, support from somebody outside.
Support. Very good. Great. So that's some core desires. Really nice. And then antidotes. What are you going to offer them to help them?
So at the moment, I'm thinking of this person, I'm actually offering reflexology.
Reflexology. Great. So just reflexology?
And see, at the moment, I haven't pushed the Healy. No, that's someplace where I probably need to go, because I have the information there, but I haven't actually pushed the Healy out there. I haven't promoted it. They came looking for reflexology, so that's what I offered. So in terms of my ideal client, I need to learn how to cross-sell. You know?
Right. So, I mean, you don't have to use Healy, because this is for anybody. This is like business building. So it's like, even if you don't use Healy, and also you don't have to sell Healy, you can just use it as one of your tools as well, you know, because I don't really sell Healy, not really.
I wouldn't sell it as people, but I don't do
Healy sessions.
No, I don't. I only promoted it to a number of people, and when I had done that, I just stopped.
Yeah.
I use it more as would be a treatment that I would promote.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect. So, you know, in terms of reflexology, just going back to that, what does your reflexology do? So if you were going to tell someone, okay, how can reflexology help this stressed out mom to find balance? Like, can you go a bit deeper on what that antidote is of just reflexology?
It holistically balances the endocrine system. That's one thing. It balances every system. It actually gives them the sense of safe touch, could actually, you know, safe touch, non-invasive touch actually helps a person to really de-stress. You know, it really, and then the endocrine balance helps to balance the hormonal system then, which also de-stresses them on a very deep level. You know, so.
Perfect. So it's not perfect. I've written it because I've just did it quickly. Holistic, the balance the endocrine system, safe touch, non-invasive. So even like safe, non-invasive touch helps de-stress and balance the hormonal system. So for example, you could then, you know, use this, what you probably write it in your own words and a little bit more clear, but you can use this when you are making a website or whatever it is that you're promoting on, so that you're able to say, you really know what that person is. You're very clear with how you can offer something for them. And then they know then that that's what you offer, and they know, okay, oh, that's something that really feels right for me. Do you focus on only mothers mostly in your?
No, see, my whole thing is I do have clients or whatever, but my whole thing, Abby, is actually getting my name out there. I only do word of mouth. I haven't been able to work any of the other things. So I find what you're doing, I find will really help me. For me, this session is where it energetically focuses me.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's a great idea putting it in the Healy. I would never have thought of that, because I have to send it out energetically, because I haven't been doing it physically. So I think I need to do it energetically first.
Yeah, perfect. So even if you didn't want to do this table, it's quite nice to do it in terms of just to be clear. I mean, you can have lots of different challenges from different types of people, it doesn't have to be just a mother, it can be anyone.
No, it's really, I think it's really because it'll make me think of all the issues that people can have.
Mm-hmm.
And actually put them down. It's a different thing to put them in your head, but it's a lot stronger to put them on paper.
Yeah, 100%. So this is it's super powerful, this exercise. And even if you don't do much with it, the fact that you've put it down on paper it's already putting the intention out there. You've already put yourself in the mindset of the person that you want to attract in your life. So, in your life, but also in your, whatever it is that you're going to offer them, it will already, that person, that soul will align with you, because you've actually been clear with being able to offer something for that person. It is all energetics.
Yeah.
And this in itself is doing the energy, the energetics, you can then add these into the Healy once you've written them out. So this can actually be what you write into the Healy. And, it's almost putting it down in advance and then putting it in the Healy, so you don't even have to think once you get there, or what am I going to put in? It's already written out.
When you put into the coaching module, do you put in as a client then?
Yes. So you could, for example, do your client avatar as a client.
Right. Okay.
That could also work. You can also just do a client for your business, because that's probably what I would do. Is you can do a client for your business. So you'd for example, Healy Avalon with the logo, and then I would scan in the coaching module, or I'd scan with the aura, and I would either keep them or delete them. Probably delete them if it was doing the business one, and then add in the focus. So the focus would be, something like I attract my perfect client. And you can have more than one, actually, or it can be something like attracting my dream client. It could just be something as simple as that. That can be the focus. Or I magnetize my dream client. And then once you've done that, you can add these in separately. I can do a Healy session one day on that, actually. I wasn't going to do it today, but I will do another session in the future if we want me to. I can actually show you how to do it, or maybe I'll just record it and then I can send it into the group.
That'd be brilliant.
Just so that everyone can see how I do it. And yeah, so then I don't know, Cheryl, do you want to have it? Would you like to share a little bit? Because obviously this will help you as well. Obviously you don't have to. Would you like to share anything you'd like to offer?
Okay, yeah, because it's kind of perfect timing for me, because I'm doing a lot of this anyway. With, I think I've said before, resetting up my business. Excellent. But I'm pivoting. So I'm a naturopath, which is like nutrition, herbal medicine, iridology. It's like a complementary GP. And before, and then I got ill a couple of years ago, and with an autoimmune disease, and sort of stopped everything for a while and had to focus on my health. I'm, especially in the last 6 months, I've been using Healy for just over a year, so it's really helped me. I've always believed in sort of like the woo-woo side of things anyway, and energetics, and I really love things like flower essences in my practice before. Mm-hmm. So I'd like to bring that side of things into my business. and also coaching. I do coaching, health coaching and life coaching as well. So I've been thinking a lot lately what I need to niche, because before I just helped everybody, and I think that led to some of the burnout and probably the autoimmune disease. Plus there was a lot of mindset work I've had to do on myself, especially over the last 6 months, and like with relationships and putting boundaries in and all this sort of thing. So I've been thinking I'd like to focus on people who are stressed, because most people have had the experience of being stressed, and sort of focus on helping people to probably avoid what I've gone through, or if they're already at that stage of the autoimmune things, then help them cope with that. Because again, I was told I had to have horrendous medication after not having any meds for 20 odd years, nothing more than ibuprofen. I had to have things like, a similar thing to chemo. Wow. And it was quite traumatic, but I'm not on any medication now. So wow. I know I can help other people. Yeah, I take herbal medicine, I take my nutrients, and I've got Healy. Mm-hmm. And I'm managing the condition. And so I know I could help people if they have reached that end stage, but I don't just want to focus on them. So this is where I come a bit unstuck with the ideal client. Mm-hmm. As to who do I promote to. Mm-hmm. I've got a kind of idea. I was thinking that I'd want to sort of focus on mindset, energy, nutrition, and self-care, self-love, because I think you can't just focus on one area and have good results. You can get some results, but you can't get lasting results without focusing on all of that. So yeah, that's where I'm at.
It sounds like you've got a lot of things figured out since I last with them, since we talked, actually.
Yeah, I think
it's kind of becoming clearer. Honestly, I know it's really hard to go niche, because obviously I know we want to reach as many people as possible. But if you start niche, it will grow anyway. Yeah. And actually, like, something that I really offer people, well, I kind of recommend people to do is to actually write their story, because with you writing your story will also be something you can use on your website in the future. I don't know if you've already done that already. If you've ever written your brand story.
I've got several books on brand story, and I've got lots of things written down.
Yeah.
And I've done a lot over the last couple of years. I did things like I always intended to do a blog. I just haven't got around to doing it yet. So that's the game where I'm at the moment, is trying to pull everything that I've already done together.
Great.
And get it out there. But yeah, I agree with the brand story, because I think I'll probably end up attracting people like me.
It's always the same. Like, it's always like when you've gone through something like that, like, it means that you can be you're the dream client, because obviously you've been through it, so you can really specifically help them because you've been through it. But obviously that will have a ripple effect. You don't have to be so niche. It's just that for this exercise, if you can be niche, it is better, because then you can have like a specific group of people that you're going to attract, and then it will slowly grow into a whole other world, and they will just come organically. So, I mean, things that I've written down on here, I mean, like when you said for people that are stressed or have gone through what you've gone through, or even those that have had autoimmune diseases, or issues, like that just instantly jumps out at me, just because I know you're not only focusing on those people, but there are a lot of people right now who've got autoimmune issues.
That's what I thought.
Need help. And like, you can also, it's quite easy to find them as well. So you could initially start off with that. But it wouldn't be only that, like you'd have, obviously your website would be more generalized. But if you could start off by, for example, when I was saying before, those questions that you can ask them, like, have you suffered from an autoimmune disease? Do you struggle taking all your medication? Like all those questions that people will go, oh, that was me, you know, oh, it's me, you know, they can feel, oh, you know them. Something that you've gone through that you struggled with, you can add them into this, and then you can really focus on that person and then know what the antidote is because you've done it already. So if we were going to write something in the core challenge, let's just do it an example. What is your dream client's core challenge? One of them.
Lack of energy.
Okay, so lack of energy.
They're feeling tired all the time. They loads of bits down. They're probably their hormones are probably out of whack. Their digestive system's out of whack. So that's a scientific term, out of whack.
Yeah, I can put out of whack. That's fine, you know, it's whatever you can relate to. Tired, they're tired, like other symptoms, like how else is that affecting their life if they're always tired and they're always hormonal? Yeah, so they're probably irritable, anxious, don't feel fun, vulnerable. I mean, that's how I felt over the last couple of years, especially with COVID, because suddenly you're classed as high risk and can't do anything, and so that brings up a lot of the mental challenges. The medications, I mean, they put me on steroids for a while as well, and it made me suicidal. I was really, really lucky that I've had a consultant that would allow me to play around with dosage and use my stuff as well. But if people haven't got the training that I've had or the awareness of that, they're just going to take what they're told to take. And although I don't want to, stop them from taking any medication, I know that I can help people reduce or get off medication if they want to. Brilliant. So just going back to core challenge, if we just say that this person has an autoimmune issue, this particular client, you can do different ones for the other challenges, but issue or disease, just so that we've got a bit more clarity on that. And then obviously that's the symptoms. What are the desires? What would they like to have change in their life? They will probably just want a life, an easy life. Or just to feel that they have an actual life. Right. I mean, there were some days where I could only walk from, just getting from the bedroom to the sofa. Wow. That was it for the day. It was really quite, That's incredible that what you've gone through. But if there must be so many. I mean, people have a lot worse than me. Mm-hmm. So they must really feel like, what am I doing? What is? So to feel like, am I ever going to feel fun again or feel myself again? Feeling to be their self, to feel to be themselves again. Okay, that will do for now. Core desires, because that's pretty much what they want. It's a good core desire because they kind of want this general thing, but it's like, how do you even get there? So the antidote then is what you're going to offer them. So what, for example, could you offer them to bring them first on their first step to feeling better? I think I would offer first, I would concentrate on the nervous system. Mm-hmm. So, because once your nervous system's in balance, so I can do that with things like herbal medicines, or if they're not able to take those, there's quite a lot of other supplements that, if someone's on a lot of medication,
I suppose I'd start off with the energy side of things, because like Healy and flower essences, anything that is not going to have any effect, because a lot of people are worried of having an effect with their medicines.
So you could actually do 2 columns for this. So the first one could be with someone who's on a lot of medication, and the second column could be someone with who has who's not on medication and is on a different level. So do different types of people with different where they're at and on their journey, because then you can be really specific with what you can offer. So say, for example, we did this first column as someone that with or without, which one do you want to go for? With taking lots of medication or can't take medication?
Yeah, so this one is on medication then.
Is that, yeah, so okay. So this one, you balance the nervous system.
Yeah, but I'd start off with the energy side of things.
Okay. So would you also do the herbal medicines and supplements, or?
It depends on the meds. I'd have to, I'd probably put in there in brackets, checking contraindications sort of thing.
Yeah. So balance the nervous system with energy.
Yeah. So Healy, flower essences.
Medicine. So Healy, flower essences. I mean, like, for example, you can get as specific with which flower essence. Do you know what I mean? I know obviously it's different for every person, but if you really want to go so deep, you can really get like the specific person and which flower essence you would use on them. Because the more specifically what you are, the more you're going to attract that person.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then possibly with herbal medicine, someone's checking if you can. Let's do that. So that is another example.
And nutrition. Sorry, I would also
nutrition.
Yeah.
And nutrition. Yeah. I guess that's a big one as well, isn't it?
Yeah, because that's again, and I think I keep forgetting how much I know, and that's probably how I've changed since we last spoke. Probably it's only been the last couple of months that I'm like, hey, maybe because I'm feeling a lot better and a lot more me, but I'm like, there's part of me that just assumes everybody knows everything about this, but I studied for 5 years on it. I've been doing it for over 20 years. Of course, they don't know the same. Mm-hmm. So they might know some, and obviously a lot of people are very aware, but I forget how much of an expert I am.
Great. And this is something you should write whenever you're doing your website, if you haven't already, is write in there how much experience you've got and making that clear to everybody who's going to be, because once they know how experienced you are, they're going to trust you more. And especially if you've got your story with what you've gone through, plus all of everything you've learned, then that already is going to draw the right person in. So I would say for you, what would be a great idea is to just, you don't have to write like a lot, but just write a little bit about your story, write it down, and then have that, you can keep editing it, keep going back to it, edit it till you're happy with it, and use that, use that, because you've been through and people can relate to you. That's what a lot of people love. They love to be able to relate to people. They go, oh, you understand me. And as soon as you have that understanding from someone, then they will want to come to you regularly. And then you can be more clear. Once you've also, if you do this table and you do maybe 10 different columns, 10 different lines, for example, you can really kind of feel into each one and feel into each scenario. And then you have already that experience of feeling into what you do. So when that person arrives, you'd know exactly what to do.
Okay.
You're already prepared for it. So you have like, oh, I know what I'd do in this scenario. I've already done it already on my client's table. So the more scenarios, the better, really.
Okay, thank you.
And then you can also, it's also that chance to then put it into the Healy and, manifest those people that are struggling to find you, who could be a lifesaver for them, actually.
Yeah.
And that's
brilliant. Thank you.
Super powerful. So thank you so much for sharing. That's like amazing what you've gone through. It really is. And, you know, we need more people like you in the world who can help others to do the same, to show them what's possible with the miracles of nature.
Yeah. It's, there's a lot out there, isn't there? There's a lot that we can use.
Yeah, absolutely. There is totally a lot we can use. So thank you, both of you, Mary and Cheryl. It's been a really good session. I've really enjoyed this one. Hopefully you have as well. And I'll share the table with you so you've got it.
Brilliant, thank you.
I'll put it I'll put it into the e-learning suite as well, but I will post it into the, just thinking, where do you prefer me to, maybe I'll send it into, would you like it into the Telegram group? I'm just thinking, I'll just send you I'll just send you an email actually with it. I think I've got you both on Facebook anyway, so I'll just send you a little Google Drive link.
Brilliant, thank you.
And then you can just fill it in for yourself, and then you've got it.
Yeah, we'll get there, Mary. We'll get out there and help people.
Well, I just think, Cheryl, just listening to you, that's brilliant. It's a brilliant story that if you tell your story, my God, you know, there's so many people can relate to you, and it's really, really important that you get out there, because you have so many people to help and serve. I just think it's fantastic, like, because you're a living example of how someone can get through it without having to do all the hard. You've done the hard work, like, so there's so many people waiting for you.
Thank you. Yeah.
And do you know what you have as well? If you'd like, we've recorded you sharing your story on this video, and you could essentially either use that recording, or you can transcribe it. So you could actually, I could send you or you can just if you've got something called Otter. Do you know?
Yeah,
Otter?
I've recently found that. Yeah.
Get Otter, and when you watch the recording back, when you start to share your story, just click record, and it's already written for you. You've already written the story, and you can just edit it then.
Yeah, I could just put that straight onto a website then, can't I?
Yeah, I mean, obviously you can add bits, but it'll give you a head start to, you know, sometimes when we just do it naturally, it's the best, and it comes out the best, and then you can just edit it slightly, because, you know, you may, you know, it's always different when we speak it, but, you know, it's already done already.
Yeah, thank you. I need this push.
You're doing great, and it's amazing you're both turning up to the sessions. It's brilliant, because obviously it's harder for those people in different time zones, but when you can arrive to the session and you get like a little bit of help and with examples, it's always useful when you get that one-to-one.
Yeah, good. Lovely. Yeah, thank you for your help.
You're welcome. You're welcome. It's been beautiful. I wish you a great rest of your Easter Monday.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah, and we'll see you both soon.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
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 Bye. Bye.